Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores.
Welcome back, everybody, to B-Varsity Live. Zach Ewing in the downtown B-Varsity studios with John Treesh of KBAK Channel 29. John, I know a lot of us get into this business because we loved sports, but we weren't the best at doing them necessarily. When it comes to, at some point, we all reached a point in our lives where we realized we're not going to make the NFL or Major League Baseball or anything like that. What's your background? I know you have roots in the Midwest like I do, and I think you may have hit the point where you realized you couldn't do it anymore a little later in life than I did. But go ahead and tell me your sports background.
Well, I mean, I started, living in Nebraska, you don't have a choice, and you're all about the Big Red, and it's still that way. And you bleed red, and that's the way all my relatives. I'm the only one not to graduate from the University of Nebraska, so you have that foundation of that fervent, passionate fan base, and so you grow up. So that's at age 4. So that's your foundation, and you begin memorizing, and I'm obsessive about trivia and things like that. And so I decided at age 7 I wanted to go into broadcasting. My hero is Dan Patrick, and I'd watch Sports Center religiously, and
Did you do the thing now? And I only asked this because I did, where you had the Super Nintendo out and you were announcing the games as you played them. Yeah, I think we all did that
up until like 2 years ago. Yeah,
sometimes still. No,
no, you got it. No, and I've actually heard from people at the highest level. That's how you know in your own time. That's a good way to practice. But and so I played 5 sports in high school, and then I played college football in a small Division II school in Minnesota. And I tell kids all the time, if you can go west or go south for college, do that because
those winters are harsh.
The North Pole is unforgiving.
I went to Missouri, and the winters are still harsh there. I mean, that's it's no fun.
Yeah, northern Minnesota. I mean, God bless them. You'll get your car stuck, but they'll help push you out. I mean, that's the kind of people they are. And then, but I still followed my dream. And then my first job was in Lincoln, Nebraska. And I was making minimum wage as a reporter, and I was doing night stock on the shelves at a grocery store, but I wanted it so bad. And then the first job was in Northwest Iowa, and then I went to Waco, Texas, covered Baylor and covered Central Texas. I got out to coach with football background at an inner city school, Waco High School, and it was such a rewarding experience. But you talk to the kids about chasing your dream, believing in yourself, all those core values of what you do in sports, but I had kind of gotten away from that. And so while I loved interacting with the kids and interacting and trying to coach and things, I needed to get back onto my path. So I came out here. I'd been out, and KBAK was generous enough to, I guess, see something, and it was, it's been such a rewarding journey. And you talk about a special community that if you put effort into them, they're loyal to you, and I think you've probably seen that too.
Yeah, I think you if you were like me, I moved out here. My wife now and my girlfriend at the time, we kind of looked around and said, "This doesn't look like California does in the books," And I'd vacationed in California before, but you don't come to Bakersfield to vacation. What exactly am I getting myself into here? But then you get here and you start to meet the people and you start to know the place, and it feels like home really, really quickly, I think.
And people are so talented here, and I tell people all the time, Friday Night Lights, Texas has this huge reputation. The athletes here are just as good in Bakersfield as they are there. Now, they don't have the 30-minute halftime shows, the field turf, the
200-member marching band.
Right. That is different. The emphasis and the prioritization is different, but the athletes are just as good. Asani Rufus can play for any school in Texas, and Anthony Mariscal can play for. I mean, the athletes here are just as elite, and so that was so great to see. And talk about a place with a ton of history.
Yeah,
that's cool. As sports guys, we're also history guys.
Essentially, you mentioned trivia. I mean, what is trivia but knowing your history? Knowing your facts.
And I mean, it's deep.
And I think Asani, I still can't figure out why Gus Malzahn didn't recruit him to play quarterback at Auburn, because he would have been perfect. But he's doing well for himself as it is, so that's neither here nor there. Speaking of Nevada, going there, it'll be a little bit different, I know. But in Bakersfield, this experience, I guess it sounds to me like it changed your life in a lot of ways because
absolutely.
you had gotten out of the business, you got back into sports journalism. You mentioned you lost your brother, you met a lot of cool people. How much have you changed in a couple of years here?
It really, I don't have a ton of personal connections to. I mean, my entire family is in Nebraska.
Sure.
It's that's 2,000 miles away, and so I really have to thrive on human connection here, and it just shows that I don't know if I've decided that we have a platform to make people feel important, whether it be through highlights, and so much of news is negative, but in sports you can actually celebrate a lot of celebration, and that can bring a lot of value. We're not nurses or pastors or anything like that,
right.
But I'm not losing perspective that way. But you can celebrating a kid who may not have a lot else going well in his life can do a lot for he or she, and I think it's just been special to be able to capture maybe a moment in their lives. And I mean, I get pumped up too, and like I still get when Darius Smith ran a 10.68 in the 100-meter dash, I had goosebumps when I saw that. It's just like good for. I mean,
right.
What an accomplishment. That's that kind of thing.
And I think you hit it on the head because those people who do have the jobs that directly help the community, the paramedics and the nurses and the pastors and anybody else. They have stressful jobs, and they like to flip on the TV or turn on the computer and relax. I mean, with sports, and that's how they do it. And if we can provide that, that's how I sleep at night anyway. I don't know about you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Vegas is going to be different, I think. Vegas,
very much so.
It's like a pro sports size city without a major league team, and a lot of that has to do with the gambling presence. I think that maybe the big league teams are scared to go there. The big leagues are scared to go there. You're going to have to know what your money lines are and your parlays are and your teasers are and that sort of stuff because the gambling's part of it. What are you excited for about Vegas?
I just think it's an event-based town, whereas we are kind of a highlight-based town. It's a story and event-based. I'm going to be ringside for Ronda Rousey or Floyd Mayweather. I mean, that's a bowl game.
Are you breaking news that money's coming back? Is that what this is? No,
we're right.
We think he's all coming back.
Right.
We all think he's coming.
You
back.
only retire 3 times in boxing.
Exactly.
And
sorry, go ahead.
No, definitely. Or be a bowl game, or win before Team USA goes to Rio. The basketball team, Coach K, LeBron, and friends, they go through Las Vegas.
Sure.
And when Pete Rose had his press conference, it was in Las Vegas. So it's such a place where a lot of news breaks, and I just think that it's a great opportunity to kind of round me professionally and covering those big events and being able to go live on a big scene in front of big crowds. And here I got to focus on capturing the moment and highlights, and this is just kind of a rounding experience. But no doubt, I'm nervous as ever because there's not going to be that day-to-day human connection as there was here. And I don't know if there's going to be that way anywhere else you go, because this is such a local-centric market where, we cover Cody Kessler and Derek Carr because they're ours, and that's kind of on a national stage. But covering Liberty versus BHS is so local, and that's the top story when that happens.
Absolutely, yeah. And you don't, I mean, just to use us as an example, you don't see that on A1 of a newspaper in very many other places.
Exactly.
Especially not of this size.
You're exactly right.
And so it is unique in that way. I don't want to steal your thunder, certainly, and I know you'll probably have more people watching that night than our night, but have you started to think about what you're going to say that last broadcast on KBAK?
I have. And because it's so much about what people, we can't be anything unless people do great things and on the athletic field. I'm just going to show a montage of the best celebrations from the 2.5 years, be it the Valley title celebrations or the kid who has overcome cancer and he gets to be his name's Isaac. What a great kid! But he gets to be the Army Bowl captain, and he tells you about that. And so it's just going to kind of be a montage of all the great moments, be it Anthony Mariscal flipping into the end zone, Asani Rufus holding the state championship trophy, and I just want it to be about all those who've really impacted my experience here.
Yeah. Well, John, I know in some ways we're competitors, but I like to think we're friends too.
Oh, absolutely.
And we wish you the best of luck moving on and congratulate you. And hey, thanks for being here today.
Oh, this has been an honor, and like we've talked about, you guys do such a great job of focusing on the kids and celebrating success here, and it's been I've learned a lot. Well, thank you.
Well, John Treesh of KBAK Channel 29. Catch his last show, what, 28th?
The 24th.
January 24th. Don't miss it. That's a week from
Sunday.
Week from Sunday. There you go. He already knows. We'll be right back on BVarsity Live with Nick Papagni. Again, John Treesh, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.